Batman, The Long Halloween is the third and now the fourth movie to be released by the DC animated universe, restarted after Apocalypse War for all the sticklers. And as always, Batman kicks it off strong. Despite me not having discussed the latest animated films from DC, I have seen them, and I chose the reproach of, if you didn't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. Now, I didn't mind Man of Tomorrow, though I felt like it suffered from consistent tonal shifts. It is a movie that struggled with the identity of the story it was trying to tell. And Justice Society was a really good adventure film. It didn't focus on the characters enough to make a good movie to me. None of the stakes seemed especially high, and the story seemed forgettable after I watched it. To be perfectly honest, after seeing the movie twice, I actually can't tell you what the plot is. Unlike its other two predecessors in the DCAU at this moment, The Long Halloween fits a special place in the Batman mythos, being that it's first an adaptation of a popular comic from the Batman mythos, and only the second two-part Batman movie in existence. The first being Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. So, in terms of living up to expectations, this movie had a lot to prove. And I won't hide my opinion. It knocks it out of the park. But let's talk about how. The story. A serial killer is running loose in Gotham and is up to our caped crusader to bring him down. I mean, the story is pretty cut and dry as that, but it's a lot more character focused in this piece, and there's a huge noir component to it. Now, I've already mentioned that the story is a rendition of the Long Halloween's, comic book series. It was a run and Batman did in, that time. The movie starts off with an established Batman working in Gotham City. The bat signal is already up and functioning, and he's already working with Commissioner Jim Gordon. Early on in the movie, you know that there's a suspicion in the relationship still, because when Commissioner Gordon brings in Harvey Dent, it's unknown that Batman is already acquainted with him. This shows you a Batman that still plays his identity very chest. He doesn't trust his allies even knowing how much he knows about them or who he's working with.
He does that a lot.
And it also brings into question how long he's been working in, how long this Batman has been functioning in Gotham. Characters in the film mention that, everything has changed since he has been around and everything's new now. So, you don't feel like Batman has been operating for too long, but his symbol is known. Which works for the story in vital ways. For instance, this is a mystery that confounds Batman. This is a different Batman. New and somewhat inexperienced, especially when it comes to being a detective. A Batman that does not know how to solve every mystery that he sees. A Batman that hasn't learned how to be the world's greatest detective. And that is so interesting to finally see on film. But the character motivation isn't just different to our Batman. The characters. There are a lot of Batman characters mentioned throughout them. And while some of the more well-known ones show their face, and a couple of the little-known ones, because Calendar Man. If I did have a problem per se, I don't like how small of a role Selina Kyle plays in this film. She is in it, but it feels like her role is only to set up later interactions in other movies, which is a problem I definitely have. Because this film does feel like, more than most, like it's trying to set up other movies. It does feel very ham-fisted at times. Though, I'll be honest, I've never read The Long Halloween as a story, so I honestly don't know all the characters that are in it. Sorry. The acting from everyone across the board in this movie is amazing. Feel like the confusion and the power of Falcone, the stern bruteness of Batman, the almost tiredness of Commissioner Gordon show. This is one of the funniest Jokers so far. I mean, honestly, I can't say that because he's written very well, but this is a really funny Joker.
You know what I forgot?
There's a huge story when it comes to Harvey. Harvey Dent's role in this movie is so essential.
I can't really be a lawyer and a criminal, can I? I want to win. But do I want to win like this? I'm of two minds here.
Some of the character motivations with Harvey Dent and Bruce Wayne and in Batman and how they feel towards each other harken back to how I felt when I watched the original animated series. The art. The Long Halloween seems to know that it mimics the animated series art style and does it to such a great effect. It uses it for the best. This feels very much separate from that, but in the same heart of it. It's really nice to watch in terms of that. And it lends itself to this darker noir story. It lends itself to that. Like, the Batman mythos is so comfortable set in a 50s or 60s setting that you almost don't notice the almost old-timey cars or the fact that they're still using cell phones, laptops. These things are around. These modern technologies are there to be seen. But the atmosphere gives way to like this very jazzy old-time feel, and it's amazing. The more comical art style didn't really work for me in Man of Tomorrow. It felt rushed and cheap in some areas. The art style in this movie feels very fitting for the setting that it's in. Everything molds together very well. Even the more fast-paced action moments have like this fluidity. This film knew the characters it tried to encapsulate. And it told a remarkable story with them. A remarkable mystery. Final verdict? If I need to tell you, Batman the Long Halloween Part 1 is amazing. And I can't wait to watch the second part. But have you seen Part 1? Have you seen Part 2? Tell me what you think about them. What did you like? What did you hate? Other than that, I've been Jordi. And happy Halloween.